Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Steffy Forrester breaks Finn's heart after daring rescue. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Dr. John Finnegan, Tanner Novlin, isn't going to get his happily ever after with Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline Masinswood, despite risking his life to save her from his loony cousin Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada. Finn has proven his love to Steffy time and time again, but this time around it might not be enough. Keep reading to find out what's happening next on Bold and the Beautiful spoilers ahead. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. A bad year for Steffy Forrester on B&B. According to B&B spoilers, after Steffy's dramatic rescue, she and Finn will be walking on cloud 9. In fact, rumor has it they might even have some sort of ceremony or party to celebrate their marriage. It will all be short-lived as reality begins closing in on the happy couple again. After all, Hope Logan is still lurking in the shadows. Steffy Forrester has had a rough year. First she and her husband temporarily split, and she lived in Europe for a few months. Then she returned just in time to watch her grandfather Eric Forrester, John McCook, almost die, and there was that whole smackdown with Sheila Carter, Kimberlyn Brown, and Murdering Sugar. Dr. John Finnegan, Tanner Novlin, is naive to think that all of this trauma isn't going to affect his wife and their marriage. Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada, might be behind bars, but that doesn't mean they won't have to face Hope Logan, Annika Noel. Plus, there's still a ton of stuff to work out at Forrester Creations, and with Brooke's bedroom relaunched, the two women are going to have to deal with each other eventually. B&B spoilers. Steffy Forrester crashes. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers hint Steffy Forrester will eventually crash and burn, and probably sooner rather than later. At some point she's going to have to deal with everything she had endured this year, and there's a good chance that when Steffy does face her demons, it will hurt her marriage. In the glimmering halls of the Forrester mansion, the tension had been simmering for days. Steffy Forrester, ever the poised and controlled CEO of Forrester Creations, had been battling an internal storm, one that no amount of business acumen or designer culture could shield her from. The source of her anguish? Her husband, Dr. John Finnegan, the man who had once brought her so much peace, had recently become the center of her emotional turmoil. It had all started with Finn's latest revelation. As a doctor, Finn had always been methodical and secretive when it came to patient confidentiality, but this time it was different. Finn had been hiding something, someone, right under Steffy's nose. A daring rescue mission that would put him at the forefront of a dangerous situation, all to save the life of a young woman named Luna, who had been caught up in a web of deceit and danger. Luna had come into their lives unexpectedly, a beautiful but mysterious woman with secrets of her own. Steffy had been wary of her from the beginning, sensing something off. She wasn't the type to easily trust, especially not when someone seemed too close to her husband. Finn, however, had been drawn to Luna's vulnerability, insisting that she needed protection. What Steffy didn't realize at the time was how deeply involved Finn had become in Luna's life. It all came to a head one fateful night when Luna's life was in immediate danger. A shadowy figure had been stalking her for weeks, and the threats against her were escalating. Finn, driven by his oath to save lives and perhaps something more, had leaped into action, leaving Steffy to wonder where his priorities truly lay. The rescue itself was nothing short of heroic. Finn, risking his own safety, had managed to track down Luna's stalker and pull her out of harm's way. The headlines splashed across tabloids painted Finn as the perfect hero. His photo next to a visibly shaken Luna was everywhere, his arms protectively around her as they escaped the scene of danger. But behind those glamorous photos, the emotional toll it had taken on his marriage was slowly becoming clear. Steffy had been watching it all unfold from the sidelines, feeling powerless. She had always been a woman of action, someone who controlled her own destiny, but Finn's choices had left her shaken. When Finn returned home that night, the excitement of his rescue still fresh on his face, Steffy couldn't help but notice the way his eyes lingered on Luna as she expressed her gratitude. "Steffy, you have to understand," Finn began, his voice soft and full of concern as he approached his wife in their living room. "Luna was in real danger. I couldn't just stand by and let something happen to her." Steffi, ever the composed ice queen, looked at him with her piercing blue eyes, arms crossed. She had heard those words before, from her father, from her ex-lovers, all men who thought they could excuse their actions with a noble cause. "I'm not questioning your need to help, Finn," she replied, her tone even but cold. "But I am questioning where your priorities lie. You didn't just rescue her, you've been involved with her for weeks without telling me." Finn ran a hand through his hair, frustration evident on his face. "It wasn't like that. Luna needed protection, and I couldn't risk putting her in more danger by letting too many people know." Steffi shook her head, the weight of the situation pressing down on her heart. "But you didn't trust me. You didn't tell me the truth, and that's what hurts the most." Her voice broke slightly, something that rarely happened with Steffi, who prided herself on her strength. Finn stepped closer, his hand reaching out to touch her arm, but she pulled away. "I love you, Steffi. I was doing what I thought was right." She couldn't help the wave of doubt that washed over her. "I don't doubt that you love me, Finn, but it feels like your heart isn't here anymore. It's with Luna. Every time I look at you, I see the way you feel responsible for her, like it's your duty to keep her safe." Finn looked down, guilt flashing across his face. He couldn't deny the bond he had formed with Luna, but it wasn't what Steffi thought. He had let himself get too close, but it wasn't romantic, at least, not for him. But for Steffi, perception was everything, and in her eyes, the damage had already been done. Steffi turned her back to Finn, staring out the window into the Los Angeles night. The city lights flickered below them, a reflection of the chaos she felt inside. "I can't do this, Finn," she said softly. "I can't be with someone who doesn't trust me enough to share everything. I've been down this road before, with men who hide things, who think they're protecting me but are really just pushing me away." Finn's heart sank. "You're talking like this is the end. Steffi, we can fix this." She turned around, her face stoic but her eyes full of unshed tears. "I don't know if we can. Maybe we're just not meant to be together. Maybe this is the universe's way of telling me that it's time to let go." Finn stood there, his world crumbling around him. He had saved Luna, but in the process he had lost the one thing he cherished most, his wife's trust. "I don't want to lose you," Finn whispered, desperation in his voice. Steffi walked up to him, placing her hand on his chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart. "Sometimes love isn't enough," she said quietly before turning and walking away, leaving Finn standing there, broken and alone. As the door clicked shut behind her, Finn realized that the daring rescue that had made him a hero to the world had cost him everything that mattered, and as Steffi disappeared into the night, the future of their relationship hung by the thinnest of threads, one that might never be mended.